Hi friends, it's been a while since we've talked. I haven't posted a video since last year, to be honest with you, but I have been working. Don't worry, I never take too much time off. There's always work to be done. My wife and I have been working really hard at putting things together for our nonprofit for this year. We're actually finally going to be releasing the farm series that we put together last year, and we're already working on putting farmers on the books this year. So for those of you who have donated to that series, thank you very much. We've got a whole other year now, and we're hoping we can keep it going. I really hope you guys enjoyed the holidays this year. You know, it's interesting. I see a lot of people fall into a funk around the holidays, and I was wondering, why people get into a funk over Christmas or New Year's. What is it that drives people's spirits down during those times? And I wanted to do this video now because, we're going into a new year, and I think it's going to give you something to think about and hopefully make your year a little better for you. Make it a New Year's resolution maybe. But, one of the things that I see a lot of people get upset with things like Christmas is they call it a pagan holiday, or X, Y, and Z. And it's true that a lot of our holidays that we celebrate are based on the same time frames as pagan holidays. There's actually a lot of different holidays that fall within those time frames. And if you look back on all of those holidays, whether they're pagan or Christian or whatever the celebration was, in each case it's a celebration of Thanksgiving and gratitude, because when you hit that Christmas time, when you hit New Year's, you're about midway through the winter time. And so it's a time to kind of, be happy with your friends and your neighbors and celebrate the fact that you've made it halfway through winter. Because back when we first started celebrating these holidays, people didn't have television, they didn't have electricity. The winter was a pretty dark time, short days, cold days. There wasn't a lot of things that were grown over the winter time, so you were thankful for the supplies that you had. There was a lot of gratitude to be expressed during that time of year, and that's really what those holidays are about. Jesus wasn't actually born on Christmas. It's just we've tied that in because we're grateful to God for Jesus during that time. It's a period of which we are expressing our gratitude. So on that note, I was thinking about these people who seem to get very perturbed during this time of year. And the thought occurred to me to kind of think about gratitude, because gratitude is actually a very big deal. And I think that a lot of us give gratitude in a very insincere kind of way. And this is where I think it could really help you going into this next year. Gratitude is something that, in order to be 100% grateful for something, to be truly grateful for something, if you're going to express your gratitude to God and all the things that He's given you, or to your family, or to a loved one, you can't truly, honestly be grateful unless you're completely content with what has been provided to you. And I'm not talking about complacency when I'm talking about content, and I'll double back on complacency in a minute. But being completely content with everything that's been given to you is a very sincere form of gratitude. You don't need anything else. You're perfectly happy with the things that you've had, but you could always be expectant for more things down the road. Not being grateful and not being content, I feel, is a driving force for failure, because when you look at your situation, when you look at what happens when you're content, when you're grateful, is you tend to end up finding yourself in better situations going down the road. And there's a reason for that. It's unfortunate that our school system, pop culture, even lecturers and public speakers today will often tell people never to be content, always strive for more, always look for the next best thing. But in reality, when you're content and you're grateful for all that you have, that's when you start to notice the opportunities that have already been provided to you. Every single one of us is unique. We're all unique. We have unique lives, we have unique circumstances. And those circumstances are tailored to our uniqueness. I hear this a lot, especially over the past couple years when we had protests all over the place. People saying, well, I didn't have the opportunities that you had, or they have different opportunities than I have. We need to make things equal. But in reality, we all have different opportunities because we're all unique. We all have unique lives. We all are different by nature. And so when you're content with things and you're grateful for things, and you really start to appreciate everything that's been provided to you, everything that's around you, that's when you start to recognize the opportunities that lie within all of that. And those are the unique opportunities for you. And often you'll find that when you find a unique opportunity for you that's tailored towards you, that opportunity tends to be the most successful opportunity. So when we're out there looking for bigger and better things, when we're out there constantly looking for the greener grass, we're constantly missing out on the perfect opportunities that are right there in front of us. And I think that that is one of the big issues that I see with people today. And when I see these times of year pop up and I see the disgruntlement, what I see are people who are not content, people who are not grateful, people who feel like they can't succeed or achieve. And in reality, the reason why they can't succeed or achieve is because they're looking elsewhere for that achievement, for that success. They're not looking within their own experience, within what they have. You know, you hear about stories of people growing up in the slums and becoming billionaires. How did they do that? Do you think that they did that by looking elsewhere? If you read their stories, most of the time, these people have become extraordinarily successful just by looking at the opportunities right there within their reach, within their touch, the things that are around them. So as we go into 2022, I know it's going to be a tough year. We're seeing, these COVID numbers go through the roof. Brandon has officially made Trump look good on that. And we've got possibilities for more shutdowns, possibilities for more economic disruptions. Inflation seems to have kind of tapered a little bit during the last month, but it really hasn't let up any. And if I'm correct, it's going to continue to go higher. There are a lot of pressures that can be on all of us going into 2022. There could be more food shortages on the way. There's been a lot of fertilizer shortages, things that lead up to this year's crop growing that are going to cause problems going down the road, supply chain disruptions, all of those things. All of these things can be burdensome to you, especially when you go to the grocery store and you look at the bill that's in your hand. And I know I talk a lot on this channel about being self-sufficient, and a lot of people can't be self-sufficient. But if we start to look at things from a perspective of gratitude, from a perspective of content, from a perspective of not wanting or desiring, but and by that again, I'm not talking about complacency. I'm not talking about being not being willing to pick up opportunities when they come your way, not being expectant. You should be willing to pick up opportunities. You should be expectant for more to come your way. What I'm talking about is just peacefully looking around you and seeing everything that's been provided for you and feeling grateful for it. There's a lot of people have said this to me over the years, especially when I've been stressed out about things. But they've always looked at me and they've said, well, haven't you always been provided for? I mean, you wouldn't be here today if you weren't provided for. And that's just a fact of life. It's a reality of life. You may have not been provided for in the way that you wanted to be or that you desired to be, but you've always been provided for. And like I said, a lot of those wants and a lot of those desires will be answered when you start to look at everything around you with complete content and gratitude. That's when you're going to start realizing the other opportunities that came with those things. So 2022 could be a very difficult year. I'm not going to lie. We could see more political unrest. But you have the opportunity to control 2022. You have the opportunity to take everything that you're experiencing into your own hands and have complete control over it. I guarantee you're going to be a happier person if you practice being content. And I'm talking about practicing being content in a grateful way, in a happy way, being happy with the things that you have, not worrying yourself and driving yourself crazy over some place you want to live that you can't get to, or some object that you must have and you can't afford. Stop worrying yourself with it. If you can't do anything about it, there's no sense in worrying yourself over it. There's no sense in pressuring yourself over it. I hope that my kids don't grow up in a world that's constantly telling them they have to thrive, they have to strive to succeed. Because in doing that, they're missing out. They're missing out on all of those other opportunities. I know that some of you guys aren't religious, but there's actually a story in the Bible right before the Sermon on the Mount where Jesus is talking to his disciples and he has them give up everything. He's teaching them about economics. He's teaching them about gratitude and being content. He has them give up everything and go out and just teach the good works of God. Now, most of these disciples ended up very well off, very well-to-do people. And they went out there with nothing. They weren't allowed to ask for anything. If they were starving, they weren't supposed to let others know that they were starving. They simply had to rely on what was given to them, what was provided to them, without going out and searching for it. I actually think that that is a very difficult thing to do. It's a very difficult thing for all of us to do. But that was the very first lesson that he taught his disciples. And it was a very important lesson that we all should learn. Because when you go out and you aren't expectant of something else, sometimes the best things that we've ever had, the best things we've ever achieved are the unexpected. So by dropping the expectations, by dropping the desires, the wants, by recognizing that all of the needs are provided for in ways that we don't necessarily always know. I think there's a quote in the Bible, I'm not perfect with Bible quotes, but something about, I've taken care of all the birds in the sky and the trees, you think I'm not going to take care of you? And I can look it up and put the quote in here somewhere because I'm horrible with that stuff, like I said. But it's a very interesting perspective. And I think that you'll find that when you focus your life that way, when you walk out the door each morning and that's what you're focused on, and you're focused on improving that which has been given to you, that which you have, then you're going to be a lot happier. You're going to have a lot more productive. You're going to be a lot more productive with what you have, and all of those things that you want to excel, all of the things that you want to succeed with, are going to be provided to you in ways that you've never expected them to be provided to you before. So that's my opening statement for 2022. It's something that I've been thinking about now for the last 30 days, and I've been reflecting on, and I think it's important to share and help others remind themselves that, we see things, we're taught to desire, we're taught to want, we're taught to spend money, to consume, and so we often forget what it actually means to live and what life is all about. And it's not about wanting and desiring. It's not about falsely succeeding. And I say that because, what are you succeeding at exactly? Is it some massively important thing? Or is it one of those things there when you're on your deathbed, it's not even going to matter? There's so much more to life than all these things that we're taught to want to go out and get and grab and strive for. And when we start to let that stuff go and we just start focusing on being grateful and content with the things that we have, being expectant that everything will always be provided for us, that's when we're going to start having the best times of our lives. We're going to start having the best successes of our lives. We're going to succeed the fastest. I want everybody this year to focus on that if you can, and challenge yourself to it, because it is so much harder than you actually think. This year we've got a lot of great stuff coming out on our channel for you guys. We've been working on kind of building up some content for you, so stay tuned. And again, thank you all who have supported our nonprofit that's continuing to be a main focus of ours. I actually can't wait to put this documentary series out there to you guys. It's going to be really exciting. You're going to learn a lot from a lot of small farmers. And, it's not just about farming and agriculture, but it's about different people. meeting different people, hearing what they have to say. It's just such a fun experience. So thank you to those who have donated, and we hope you continue to donate in 2022 as we work on developing next year's series. I guess we'll put it that way, because it takes us a while to film everything and then edit everything and put it out. But it's been an exciting year, and we're really looking forward to where things go in 2022.